If you're talking about the way intelligence is gathered, by the way the agencies do it, it's now become far easier for the agencies to gather and analyze information as opposed to say 50 years back in 1971.
You as a journalist also have had your Operation X's galore through your career. Focusing on the cloak and dagger, so to speak, of the whole establishment, etc. Have you seen a change in the way when you started to now, in the way information is gathered? More importantly, and probably more strategically, the way it is interpreted now.
Right.
Have you seen a change happen through your?
Well, absolutely. If you're talking about the way intelligence is gathered, by the way the agencies do it, it's now become far easier for the agencies to gather and analyze information as opposed to say 50 years back in 1971. Sure. Today, you have civilians who've actually turned into intelligence analysts because of the range of tools that are available at their disposal. And you only have to look at the footage that's coming out of the Ukraine war, where you have citizens actually sitting and poring over satellite data and interpreting satellite data, studying the movement and patterns of air traffic, identifying military aircraft that is moving around. So it's, in a sense, you can imagine what it must be like for the intelligence agencies. It's like a bonanza. It's an electronic bonanza in terms of the kind of radio traffic that's being generated. For instance, they're able to pinpoint, which formation is moving where and all that.
Also, I think the very definition of public domain seems to have changed from the time that you started.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if you're looking 50 years back, you and me, if we were back in 1971, we would have had very few tools at our disposal to actually understand what was going on in the world outside. I mean, we just had transistor radios for the news. We had newspapers, and you had a TV channel with like 1 hour or 2 hours of a thing a day, a broadcast a day. So you're living in a kind of a closeted world where information was very hard to come by. Sure. And today it's exactly the opposite. If you had the fog of war then, you have a saturation of information today. In 50 years later, where you're actually flooded by images and visuals and data. And for you to gather, to sift through that is a far bigger challenge than it was in the past.